Are you tired of all of the cooking that you've been doing lately? I gotta tell you, I miss going to restaurants. Holy cow, we have cooked every meal for every day, for every week, for about 6 weeks now. And so I'm very excited that we've started doing some meal delivery kits. I reviewed recently Home Chef, and today I'm gonna be reviewing Everyplate, which bills itself as America's best value meal kit. So let's put it to the test and find out if in fact it is really true and if it's worth the money that you spend. Everyplate delivers meal kits to your home. They are uncooked, but they include all of the ingredients for each meal, so you don't have to run to the store and buy anything. Literally the only things that you have to provide are usually olive oil and salt and pepper. So in this video, I'm going to review Everyplate and how it worked for our family. Each week you go to their website and they have an assortment of meals that you can choose from. So this week, my kids got involved in the choosing of the menu, and we got Vietnamese steak bowls with carrots, pickled cucumbers, and sriracha mayo, balsamic glazed pork chops with roasted zucchini and garlic thyme potatoes, and we got French onion chicken with roasted carrots and mashed potatoes. The recipes all come with a clearly marked recipe card. Now, if you watched the video I did earlier on Home Chef, their recipe cards are gigantic. So compared to the Home Chef recipe, you can see that it is literally half the size. But by cutting their printing costs in half, they're able to pass that savings on to you. So do you need a giant recipe card? I think it's perfectly fine the size that it is. So let me get to the unboxing. This is where I find that the companies significantly differ from one another. Honestly, even the recipes are not completely different. They're not the same, but I haven't found that one has, oh my gosh, haute cuisine, you know, super fancy stuff, and one is more hot dogs. It's not like that. They all have very comparable recipes, in my opinion. So here's where I think they really differ. When you open up the box for Everyplate, this is what it looks like. So everything is just kind of thrown into the box together, and they're not all nicely separated per meal, which is not that big of a deal until you sit down and say, okay, I feel like making the Vietnamese steak bowls. Which items go with that particular recipe? And you kind of have to dig through the fridge to figure out what it is that you need. It's not a huge extra step, but it is an extra step. And that's part of the reason why I'm assuming they charge less than the other companies. So does that make a difference to you? If it does not, go ahead and save the money. Now the ice packs with this one are significantly larger. And to me, I guess the good is it probably takes longer to thaw when it's bigger compared to the smaller ice packs. But they also take up a lot more room in your freezer, and so you only need to keep 1 or 2 of these, and then the rest we toss. Whereas the smaller ones, I find they come in handy if you want to reuse them a lot more. But you can see that the packaging for the meat is very comparable to all of the other companies that we've tried. They all are packaged pretty much the same way. So compared to the Home Chef box, you can see that we have just as much food, but it's all just loose in a pile, and you've got to put it all together yourself when it's time to cook. So I do like that with the other companies, they put it in a bag for you, so it's all separated, but I sure do like the cost savings with Everyplate, I'm not gonna lie. So here are all of the seasonings and all of the spices and all of the sauces for all of the recipes. It's not a big deal, but I don't know. It's a nuisance, and I kind of prefer having everything separated out just so I don't have to think about it. When it's time to cook, I just want to take the stuff out of the fridge and get going rather than have to sort through this bag and figure out what I need and what I don't need. So we are going to review Everyplate on 4 different categories. We've got the number of menu choices each week, we have packaging and shipping, we have price, and we have overall quality and taste. We're going to give everything a possible of 5 points per category with a grand total possible of being 20. So let's get to cooking and we'll see how Everyplate stacks up. And now, America, with an open heart and an empty mind, I say unto you in the words of my uncle, Mailed-in cuisine! So now let's do our final scoring. You'll remember that we are judging on 4 different categories: packaging, menu choices, overall taste and quality, and value for the money. Of the recipes that we tried, they were all good, but there was one that absolutely knocked my family socks off, and that was the French onion chicken. Oh my gosh, if you like French onion soup, French onion chicken is like the soup, but on chicken. So let's do the scoring. When it comes to packaging, I think you already know my feeling on this. Yes, I like that it's cheaper, but it is very annoying that I have to hunt through this pile of potatoes and try to figure out what goes with what recipe. So out of a possible total of 5 points, I'm gonna give it a 3. The box is well insulated. The cold packs kept everything cold during shipment. They could deliver it early in the day and it could sit on your front porch. And if you didn't get home until 6 o'clock at night, I'm sure everything would still be cold and or frozen. So the packaging part is fine, just not having everything separated. Menu choices. Out of a possible 5, I'm going to give it a 4. They give you a lot of choices, not as many choices as the other companies, but again, that's probably how they're able to keep their costs down. Instead of giving you 15 options, they might only be giving you 10. Overall taste and quality, I'm going to give it a 4. We liked the food that we got. However, I am going to say that the portion sizes are smaller. So instead of getting a meat and 2 veg, you're only getting a meat and 1 veg. Most of the recipes that we have tried over several weeks of ordering 3 to 4 recipes per shipment, you got 1 entree and 1 side, whereas most of the other companies are giving you an entree and 2 sides. And so finally, overall value for the money, I'm going to give it a 5. It is very inexpensively priced, and for what you get per meal, honestly, you can't beat it. It is the lowest of any of the meal delivery services that we tried. So out of a possible 20, from my family, Everyplate gets a total points of 16. Everyplate definitely has plenty of options for you to choose from. It is very inexpensively priced, and in spite of having to dig through the box and separate the items per each recipe, it is a pretty simple way for you to figure out what you're going to put on the dinner table 3 or 4 nights a week for your family. Did you see the review I did of Home Chef? If not, you should watch this video next, where I talked all about how Home Chef compared to other meal delivery services. So let's go watch that one next.